using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his way.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great.
Floyd, yeah, because
Terence Crawford has answered Floyd Mayweather's challenge for a 2026 showdown, and he's ready to step in the ring. Crawford welcomed the idea, saying it's time to finally settle the question of who truly deserves the greatest label. The fight call-out came from Mayweather himself, who, despite being more than a decade older, grew frustrated with fans constantly comparing his legacy to Crawford's rise.
Apart.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want?
After his recent victory, Terence Crawford addressed the growing buzz about a possible clash with Floyd Mayweather. Asked about fans pushing for the matchup and Floyd showing interest too, Crawford didn't hesitate. He said if Mayweather is serious, it's a chance for big money and a chance to share the ring with one of boxing's legends. His response was simple: I'm in.
Now, how do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
you think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight.
Mayweather's call-out of Crawford wasn't just about fan pressure. What really fueled it were comments from two of his own former opponents, who claimed Crawford may actually be better. For a legend with Mayweather's record, that stung. Canelo voiced it recently, and even Shane Mosley, who dropped a decision to Mayweather 15 years ago, echoed the same thought.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
Speaking with Fight Hub TV, Shane Mosley made waves by saying he believes Terence "Bud" Crawford edges out Floyd Mayweather. Mosley praised his former rival's talent but argued Crawford is the more complete fighter. He pointed to Crawford's size, ability to climb weight classes, and his long reach as key advantages. While admitting it would have been a tough matchup, Mosley still gave the slight edge to Crawford. So the debate remains, who do you think comes out on top?
Who do you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually taking more of a weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
All right, guys, listen up. Boxing just got flipped on its head. Terence "Bud" Crawford walked through Canelo Alvarez and forced the world to ask the big question: is Bud the greatest of all time? Fans and experts worldwide are already raging over it. And when Canelo himself steps up to a mic and says Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, that's no casual talk. That's a bomb dropped on the boxing world.
And compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Canelo, beaten and humbled, told reporters Crawford is way better than Floyd. Think about that for a second. This is the same Canelo who fought Mayweather years ago and just got dismantled by Crawford. For him to admit that shows either next-level sportsmanship or brutal honesty. Instantly, controversy caught fire, Mayweather loyalists defending the undefeated record, while Crawford's army pointed to Bud's ability to move up weight classes and destroy elite names. That's a war of opinions right there.
You know, how did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was
ready for the body shots. You know, occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, you know, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, you know, on the angle and, you know, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford.
Crawford himself kept it calm. Talking on Ariel Helwani's show, he said, Canelo's been in the ring with both of us. It's his personal opinion. But let's be real, Canelo's words matter because he felt both men's power. That isn't fan talk, it's fighter experience. Watching the fight, you could see Crawford pivot, make Canelo miss, counter hard, and control angles. The man was slipping shots and punishing mistakes, proving why people are now whispering GOAT when they mention Bud.
Now another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know. I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era.
But here's where things heat up. Ryan Garcia stepped into the debate, blasting Mayweather's legacy. Garcia accused Floyd of playing chess with careers, waiting until fighters were past their prime before signing contracts. He called it changing the game in the worst way possible. Bold words, but not without truth. Floyd was the king of timing, but Crawford? He's hunting lions in their prime. That contrast makes fans question what greatness really means. Is it the record or the risk?
Game like Floyd Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
After junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing, and that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
Max Kellerman, one of boxing's sharpest minds, added fuel to the fire. He admitted Mayweather had the deeper resume and better defense, but he pointed out Floyd's selectivity after lightweight. Meanwhile, Crawford has shown he'll fight anyone, anytime. That's why fans resonate with him. He's not dodging. And Kellerman's comparisons to legends like Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr.? That's elite company. It tells you Crawford isn't just winning, he's commanding respect across the sport.
His resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first.
Let's not forget Crawford himself. He gave Floyd his flowers, saying, "He's the king. We have a lot in common, but I take more chances." That's respect mixed with confidence. He acknowledged Floyd's two eras, Pretty Boy Floyd, the destroyer, and Money Mayweather, the chess master. Crawford sees himself in that lineage, but with one key difference, he's willing to risk it all, to walk into fire, to prove dominance. And that mindset? Fans eat it up.
Nope. I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways.
When Crawford destroyed Spence, dropping him 3 times, that was next-level proof. His timing, his jab, his counterpunching, it was flawless. Mayweather had surgical precision, but Crawford showed raw, explosive power with brains behind it. And let's not forget knockout stats. Floyd's 27 KOs and 50 wins versus Bud's 31 in just 40 fights. That's insane finishing ability. Crawford doesn't just outbox you, he erases you. And that difference keeps fans screaming for a fantasy Mayweather versus Crawford matchup.
Comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always.
So picture this fantasy fight. All right, guys. Early rounds, Crawford comes forward, firing volume. Mayweather absorbs, rolls, shoulder defense locked tight. Middle rounds, Floyd banks points with that jab, calculating. But Crawford? He won't sit still. He pushes, pressures, whiplashes punches, and forces Floyd to adjust. Could Mayweather figure him out like always? Or would Bud's relentless firepower break through even the greatest defense? That's the fight fans can't stop dreaming about. That's the ultimate what if. Still, respect has to be given. Mayweather's ring IQ is second to none. He built a Hall of Fame career off hit and don't get hit, and nobody cracked the code. But Crawford's IQ isn't far behind. And when you add knockout power to that intelligence, you're talking about a new kind of monster. He's the fighter who makes legends nervous. Just ask Canelo, he couldn't solve Bud's puzzle. He got schooled, period.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
And a rich from the left hooks again. His lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
Next voice. So where does this leave us? Simple, Mayweather was the greatest of his era. Crawford might just be the greatest of this era. And as much as Bud respects Floyd, boxing fans won't stop comparing. Canelo says Crawford is better. Ryan Garcia calls Mayweather overrated. Kellerman throws comparisons to the old gods. And Bud? He just keeps winning. The fire's not going out anytime soon. This is boxing history being written in real time, and we're all witnesses.